Muse Watson. You know, the guy behind you, and I know what you did last summer. You need to watch. You need to listen to a podcast. It's called Don't Go Out There.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie
Welcome back,
Podcast.
everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. We really appreciate all support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, I just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. My man Brian has done a fantastic job with the website. He's got it looking great. Everything about our podcast is on there. All of our episodes and interviews from episode 1 to our weekly release. If you want to check out all of our episodes there, maybe you have an office job, don't have access to your phone, you can listen on your desktop computer. We've done some incredible interviews in the past with some of the biggest names in horror, some of your favorite slashers, writers, directors. Check out our interviews if you haven't heard those yet. We got our store. We got some new T-shirts. Brian and Dustin have done some fantastic designs if you want to check those out. And we also have Shan's Etsy page attached as well if you want to grab a tumbler. And we also have our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We love interacting with our fans. We love, meeting new people. We love answering your comments and questions on the air. So definitely check us out on social media. And the last thing I want to shout out is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. You're a big fan of our podcast, a big fan of our show. You want to help support us. That option is available. And we also have one-time donations. If you want to donate and, if you have a film review you want us to do, that option is available as well. All right, guys, let's jump into the review. We're continuing our 31 picks for the rest of this month. And this week is Brother Mike's pick. Mike, you want to announce your pick?
Yeah, so I went with, and I want to apologize again, like I did on last week's show, for picking this one. But I went with I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Listen, guys. I've already apologized. I don't know what more I can do. But I picked the trilogy because it felt like one of the last kind of franchises we hadn't really put into 31 on 31 yet. And I was really looking for a trilogy. And unfortunately, we're going to have to watch the third one as well, which is just one of the worst films ever made. So I feel like, all right, I won't pick that one. I'll pick this one because I'm the one that made you guys watch the trilogy in the first place. And I'm sorry. Look. This is such a veer off from the first one. And it's not like the first one is some masterpiece, but it is enjoyable. It's a good little slasher movie for its time. This movie takes a complete left turn, and I think it's really bad. There's some good parts to it. It has its moments. And again, shout out to Jack Black for being the fucking GOAT, comedic relief. The comedy doesn't fit in this film, even though I think Jack Black is fucking hilarious.
I agree, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. I just don't think there's a lot of good here. There's, again, some bright spots. Jennifer Love Hewitt, I'll wait to gush over her later. But, I just don't think this first movie needed a sequel. Of course it was going to get one because it made bukus of money. And then you kind of follow it up with something that just makes no fucking sense. This movie adds nothing to the lore. It adds nothing to the originality of anything. It's a paint by numbers, really bad 90s horror movie to me. And I'm still excited to talk about it because like I said last week, I know Brian loves discussion episodes, so I'm sure he's got a ton of notes ready to go.
Fuck off, Mike.
I'm the only one that loves them when we pick bad movies. Come on, man. I mean, what's the problem here? I was going to say, WrestleManiac's one of the best shows we've ever done. It was fucking great.
So say don't say you're the only one that likes when we pick bad movies. Why the hell do you think I keep picking bad movies? I intentionally pick bad movies.
All right, I'm done. Sorry. That's
all right. I love doing this show because everything Mike said, I disagree with. I like this movie more than the original, and I'm not even joking. I'm being dead ass serious. I know it's a hot take. I like this more than the original.
What
yes,
the
I
fuck
said.
is wrong with you?
And I will explain at the ending. I'm dead serious. I'm not even joking.
What is happening?
He kayfabed this whole time. This whole time, I thought he was like, because he was
It's
quiet
a
about it.
slur,
I thought,
bro. It's a slur.
he agrees with us. This movie sucks.
Absolutely not. And it's
God damn it! Of course,
it's more fun to watch. I don't have to watch Sarah Michelle Gellar make the stupid decision to not run into the damn parade and get herself killed. I thought this movie was funny, and I know y'all didn't like the comedy, but Mekhi Phifer, fucking hilarious. I'm crying.
Great.
This man is exponentially horny through the whole movie, checking out bitches in front of his girlfriend. And then his death scene is awesome. Jack Black is great. Yeah, I mean, is the movie good per se? No, but I did enjoy it. I had more fun than the first one. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I'll agree with you. The first one wasn't good either, so that's fine. But you want to point to Sarah Michelle Gellar specifically and say that's a dumb decision. These motherfuckers were freaking out because, oh my God, I'm trapped in a tanning bed when they could have just unplugged it. I don't want to hear about dumb shit.
I know the movie's dumb, but I had fun watching it.
It's funny you said that because I liken this to Jason X, and you like that shit for the same reason. So, I mean,
that's why. That's why I like Jason X. I guess I can't talk shit. Although Jason X doesn't have the piss poor comedy. Anyway.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I actually remember liking this when it came out. Now, given I was a freshman in high school, and I have, as you'll recall from our first review, I think I'm the only one that did have a lot of love for the first one. But I hadn't watched this movie since then. Until I think, was it last year or the year before when we interviewed Muse Watson? Whenever that was, 2 years ago. Whenever that was, I actually watched this again and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this movie is terrible. And that hasn't really changed upon this rewatch. I think the writing's awful, and that's 99% of the problem here, in my opinion. Since Kevin Williamson had scheduling conflicts with Dawson's Creek, The Faculty, and Halloween H2O script right here at this time, they brought in Lois Duncan, who mostly has done young adult books. And,
fuck you, Lois.
Also, yeah, I agree. Also, she's credited with the absolute dog shit direct-to-video sequel to this as well. Couple that with the fact that they wrote it, shot it, and released it a year after the original. To me, it just sucks. I know it does have some fans. Obviously, Nico, just like Jason X, where it sucks, but, it has some fans that embrace the campiness. Besides the soundtrack, to me, there's just not much good here, and one of the few that doesn't really trigger any nostalgia for me.
Yeah, this movie sucks, bro. I remember when I was watching this for, I was doing my due diligence for the 31 on 31. I texted you guys when I was watching it. I said, yo, is this supposed to be a comedy? Because this shit's hilarious. And I don't even mean Jack Black's comedy. I don't even mean Jack Black's comedy, though. I mean the ridiculousness and how cheesy some of the shit is. And then I texted him as soon as it was over. I was like, yeah, we got to review this shit. And that's before I knew that Mike was picking it. Now, speaking of Mike picking it, Mike, I want to ask you why the hell you apologize. I made us watch all the Children of the Corn movies. I ain't apologizing for shit, pal. I put my whole chest behind that one.
Well, I want to, I kind of want to hype myself up here. I kind of have the best record when it comes to picking movies so far. I'm just saying.
I don't think so. But also,
I think so.
But also, I said it earlier, I intentionally pick bad movies, and I do it and stand behind it. Brian will pick something like Army of the Dead and be like, no, I didn't pick that. But anyway.
Also, Bone Tomahawk was like 3 hours long. Let's get back to that.
And it was fucking good. Fuck off, Mike.
This movie is just not good. And I didn't like the original one that much either. I think when we reviewed it, I gave it a 5.5 or something like that. This one's worse than that. Now, it's not the worst movie we've ever seen, but it's just like, it was so poorly written. The dialogue was terrible. I texted you guys when I was watching it this last time, and I was like, is it just me, or did Jennifer Love Hewitt's acting get worse from the first one to the second one? And then there was some comments made like, well, I don't think she's a world-class actress herself. Don't act like you guys didn't enjoy Heartbreakers. That's a good movie. But anyway.
Like Heartbreakers.
Imagine thinking I've seen that.
Imagine thinking Mike wouldn't.
I figured you would, man. It's a chick flick. But the tuxedo with your uncle, Jackie, that's a good one as well.
Wow.
Anyway,
this show is off the rails tonight. Let's go. I'm pumped. Let's do it.
Back to this movie. It just, man, it's got its moments where it's like tolerable, but to me, I just think the movie sucks. but it's not the worst thing we've ever. It's not the worst movie we're going to review that we had to rank for the 31 31. Not even close. No. So that puts me in a tough spot when I'm trying to give it a numerical value score, but I did it somehow.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Nico, I understand your point just because I'm all in on a So Bad It's Good movie. However, I think this movie's trying to be good. That's its problem. Like, I actually feel like it was trying to be a good sequel to the original, and instead it's a pile of shit. If you went in with the expectation of seeing this over-the-top, dumb, comedic slasher film, okay. But that wasn't my Like, I know there's some ha-ha in the first one, but nothing like this. And again, shout out to Jack Black. Nothing but love and respect for my man. I mean, he's one of my favorite as far as comedy goes, but he couldn't even save this pile of shit. Now, if you want to see a good Jack Black film, shout out School Rock. Shout out to Brother Dustin.
Let's rock today.
Holy moly. I hope our audience has made it this far. All right, guys, let's jump into the scene by scene. Film starts with a title card and commentary from the previous film. Julie walks into a church to confess of killing a man last summer. Suddenly she hears, "I know what you did last summer," and she screams, waking up in class. She storms out of class in embarrassment. Will Benson chases after her and she tells him of her dream. He says it's the anniversary of it happening, triggering the dreams. She thanks him for being good to her. Ray calls for her and asks who the guy was. Ray wants to take her back to Southport, but she's not healed enough to go back. Ray storms off because she doesn't want to go back. She goes in her apartment and grabs a snack. She pauses, seeing an old photo of Helen. She lies down in bed. Later that night, she wakes up hearing a door slam and reopen. She grabs a knife and walks the dark apartment. She sees clothes moving in her closet, and she and Carla scream at each other. Carla wants Julie to come to the club with her and get with Will and ditch Ray. Tyrell is big horny and wants to find a spot to be alone with Carla. Julie jokes white people can't dance, and they all head to the dance floor as Carla spots Will. Julie sees the fisherman upstairs, but it was her imagination. He's behind her now, but imagination again. She tells Will sorry and heads home for the night. All right, Brian, that's the opening set of scenes. What'd you think?
Like I said in the start, there's not a lot of good to me, but this cold open, I do really like. And I know they mention it here when Julie talks to Will about her dreams, but I don't mind them acting like that. The end of the first one was a dream, and I'll go on record as saying that I wish they played it up even more. Kind of like they do here at the start here in the church. In fact, here I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get to explore some more like PTSD type subplots with Julie, which we don't usually get enough in sequels, and that kind of excited me. But, then we get the cheese that the rest of the movie brings, and it's not what I wanted out of this. Danny Cannon directed this one. I think we talked about the bad relationship that Freddie Prinze had with Jim Gillespie in the first one. I truthfully don't know if that had anything to do with Cannon directing this one. And I don't know if Cannon is the one to blame for this movie almost going Scooby-Doo-ish to a point in tone, but I'm going to blame Louis Duncan. So, sorry. By the way, sorry, Julie. You shouldn't have such a fucking close relationship, a close friend like Will anyway at college. It's obvious he wants to fuck you. And my guy Ray slaving away, trying to buy you a ring, and you're off gallivanting with Will. That's fucked up, Julie. Anyway, this does make me nostalgic a little bit for Jennifer Love Hewitt. I don't know when you're listening to this, but she's not done much in the last decade or more, really, except some TV. And going to be honest, in a non-pervy way, it's nice to see her again. I also think Brandy is a very nice addition to this cast. I think her and Hewitt play off each other perfectly. And again, the soundtrack is it's so 90s, and I actually love it. Like, along with Scream 2, I actually had the CD soundtrack to this one, and Orgy's Blue Monday they're playing here at the club. I wore that shit out back in the day. That song would hit on some 12s in the old Eclipse back in the day. Don't sleep on that song, I'm telling you. Overall,
this man's old.
Shut the Mike.
Brian had an Eclipse out here like he's Brian Spilner. I like it.
Overall, maybe my favorite set of scenes in the movie, and that's because, her seeing Ben, I'm still writing off as hallucination. And again, at this point, I like it. But the jump scares, they're already off the fucking charts. So come on with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I literally have hey, I don't hate this set of scenes because I feel like they do a decent job with some of the horror movie stuff. I mean, it's a lot of tropes. I'll get into it. Look, Jennifer Love Hewitt right off the bat, Call Me Sometime. I'm bringing it back because there's 3 in this movie, and I can't stop myself. I'm sorry. All right. But also, she goes to Catholic confession, which gives me bad PTSD. That's all I'm going to say about that. And you hit him with a very stereotypical said the name of the franchise out loud. Oh, I hate it so much. It just look. This movie has a lot of Scream 2 vibes, and I know this franchise catches a lot of flack for being a lot like Scream, and it's not. It doesn't have those meta elements in that sense, but it has a lot of the same. It hits a lot of the same points. You have you've got Julie here freaking out in the college class. Sydney's freaking out in the college class. Like just a lot of very similar vibes. You mentioned the soundtrack, similar as well, very 90s, but that's just how those movies were at the time. They're very of their time. So. I have a hard time not seeing the similarities there. It's almost weird to watch a movie with Freddie Prinze now, knowing what he does now, really, which is give opinions on professional wrestling for a living. Like, it's kind of what Freddie's been doing the last year or so. It's basically just has a podcast, talks about pro wrestling, and I know he worked in the business for a while there, so I understand that.
But he's got a new horror movie podcast too. That's all he does is watch old horror movies and does the same thing we do.
Well, sounds like a fucking copycat. I'm just kidding. I like Freddie Prinze.
Sounds like he's rich and plays video games all day. And he's married to Sarah Michelle Gellar. I was gonna say he's got it fucking
made. He probably collects royalties from this shitty movie all the time. So what do I know? They pour on the horror cliches here in this opening. The door shutting on its own, the bulb going out, long tracing hallway shots, and then someone walking behind her. Like just very paint by numbers, cut and dry. Slasher movie tropes. And again, it's done pretty well, at least in this set of scenes, but it is very tropey, for lack of a better term. Also, hello, Brandy, Call Me Sometime. There's number 2. Shout out to Mekhi Phifer. And there's no movie, there's no Mekhi Phifer, which that's not true because this is a movie and we have Mekhi Phifer. Look, his character does a better rhyme here than any of the rhymes he tried to do in 8 Mile, which I know he was just kind of the VJ, but he never busted like he did in this. Strobe lights at clubs, and clubs in general, suck ass. So here's a warning to anyone that's young and listening. Clubs, bars, fantastic, great place, totally free. You don't have to pay to get in. Clubs suck, man. After you turn about 22 years old, I think clubs are terrible. Anything I have to dress up to go sweat, and everybody smells, and there's people spilling beer on you and you're not supposed to fight because that's rude. I'm not saying I've fought in a club before or anything, swear. Look, it's just not for me. Hey, D, if it's for you, I'm calling you by your Scream name now, D. If it's for you, that's great, but it's not for me. Look,
hey, I'm 35 and I still go throw my ass in a prayer circle in a club. I love it.
I haven't done that in a long time. Also, I was probably too drunk for clubs. Not going to lie. I'll let you in on a little secret there. I was just probably too much of a public ass to be in clubs. Last thing, I like that we get these, what I thought, like Brian did, were visions of the fishermen. Like, I really do, like I think they look cool up in the balcony when she's trying to have a good time. You see them behind her. Like, I think that stuff looks good. And like you mentioned, I think they're visions or mirages or something that she's seeing at this point. So, for here, I don't hate it. I'm having a fun time with it. It's not too silly just yet. I think it's a decent set of scenes.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm never going to complain about a movie opening with Jennifer Love Hewitt, but I'm not crazy about that dream aspect. And I just find it incredibly hard to believe that anyone could fall that deep asleep in class and then let out a scream like that. Like, nope. I don't know. Maybe she was more tired than I've ever been in school, but that's hard to believe to me.
But I 100% agree with that. It should not have been in class.
Yeah. Then when they're walking down the sidewalk, someone's throwing fireworks at them and scaring the shit. Fuck off. Like, come on. That's just lazy. The dialogue in this movie is just so bad. Like I said, people don't talk in real life how they talk in this movie. And it's, you have to watch like the first 10 minutes of the movie to get what I'm saying there. Julie's paranoia, I get it. It's playing off of the first, and this is a sequel. It came out a year later, but it's just annoying as hell to me early in this movie. Like, the story would have been just fine without her having that dream and the false scare with Carla in the apartment. once, because where we're going to an island, and they're getting lured there. I would have been fine with us holding off on all this paranoia and callbacks and shit to the originals until they got to the island, personally. And then Julie just waving a knife at Carla like that in her face, that was just overly dramatic too. Also, my initial thought when I saw Carla in this movie is that if these girls ever get in any danger, just have Carla get behind the wheel. Then whoever's in front of her will be the one in danger. Look up Brandy Norwood's driving history if you don't get that reference.
Jesus.
That was tough, buddy.
Hey, she's the real killer. Fuck that. Ain't the fisherman.
Oh, God. Brian and Dustin hate women, confirmed on the show.
I don't hate women. I mean, last thing I got on this set of scenes is, she sees the fisherman in the club. Maybe I'm just being overly critical and unfair, but it's annoying to me. Like, it's well done, but it just feels like a forced, cheap cash in on the original movie at this point. Because we haven't developed anything. We're just, hey, remember the fisherman? She's afraid of him. Remember? It's just, it doesn't work for me. Go ahead.
Next morning, Carla answers the phone, and it's the radio station DJ who asks if she'd like to win a giveaway. They want a trip for 4 to the Bahamas. Ray answers a call from Julie at work. Ray gets mad for some reason getting the invite to the Bahamas and says he has to work. Dave calls him out on his bullshit and offers to ride up to Cambridge with him. Ray whips out an engagement ring, and Dave says, "Don't call. Let's surprise her." Carla tells Julie to forget about Ray. The two get hyped up for the Bahamas. Ray and Dave are jamming out as they head to Julie's. Ray stops seeing a body in the road and an abandoned car. Dave says keep going and call the cops. Ray goes to investigate, but he discovers the body is just a mannequin. Dave gets a hook through the mouth and snatched out the truck. The fisherman drives the truck at Ray until he runs off the road, tumbling down the hill, knocking himself out. Carla and Julie wait on their ride as Carla gives her the "I told you so" speech about Ray. Tyrell pulls up with Will, and Julie gets hyped saying they are going to the Bahamas. Julie comforts Will as he panics on the plane. Tyrell is retching on the boat as the two girls do their Leonardo DiCaprio Titanic impression. The boat docks, and Tyrell is thankful. He checks a chick out right in front of Carla, giving no fucks. Titus runs up to the group asking if they need Bud to hit him up. Titus got it. All right, Brian's next set of scenes got. What'd you think?
That caught me off guard there a little bit. Look, I don't mind this whole radio station thing, and that's something that really couldn't be pulled off nowadays, for one. And let's just not question who paid for these fake plane tickets and reservations and everything. This is all just super dramatic and pointless as a subplot. Like, not to spoil it later, but come on. You can have them really win this trip and it play out the same way and just fucking follow them there. You don't need this ridiculous plan. It's too much, Lois Duncan. It's too fucking much. And it makes it stupid later anyway. But anyway, I will also shout out Jennifer Love Hewitt's song, "How Do I Deal?" that plays with Ray getting the call in the dock. I think that goes perfectly with that scene. It does take me back to 1998. Shout out there. Although another stupidly written scene, because you can't give Ray a different reason to not go. I mean, especially when he has a ring to propose. I mean, come the fuck on with that. Then we get to follow that up with something you honestly can't just explain away with a hallucination or whatever. Come the fuck on with this mannequin in the road. How is Ben even going to know they're going that way, for one thing? Second thing, how long was this set up? Like, how many people drove by before Ray did? I mean, this is so stupid, and I'm not sorry. The only redeeming quality here is Dave's kill, being drug out of this truck with the hook. But this whole thing makes no logical sense, and it's ridiculous. I mean, a Mack truck comes the other way as Ray is running 2 seconds later, and Ray can't just duck off in the woods. He tries the Tecmo Super Bowl swerve and to outrun the truck. Like, what are we doing here, really? And I'll just say this now. Will's character sucks. But also, I don't know how many people know this. Like, when we kind of brought up Freddie Prinze Jr.'s new podcast, but his old podcast a few years ago when I used to listen to he and Josh Wolf in The Wolf and the Prince, or The Prince and the Wolf, one of the two, backwards, I don't know. But he talked about his time on set in this movie and wouldn't name the one dude he really didn't get along with, but he hinted, and everybody pretty much agreed that it was Mike's brother, Matthew Settle, who was playing Will. Just based on the stuff he said about it being the guy's first big movie. And some stories he told on there pretty much point to the dude being a total douche on set. Allegedly, legal, Don't get us. Let me just throw that on there. Allegedly. I don't know. I wasn't there. I just work here. Go ahead. I'll let you all touch on Titus.
Look, I miss radio station contests, though. Like, I haven't listened to the radio in a long time, but I used to love trying to call in and win, cool shit. However, this is the dumbest fucking, like, this radio station thing bothers me so much. One, because of how they pay it off. Like Brian mentioned, like, hey, if that's all it is, if it's a real radio station contest and they win this trip and shit turns to, shit, for lack of a better term, I can live with that. But the whole thing is so dumb. It's a bad plot point and a reason for them to get to the Bahamas. Like, first of all, it shouldn't be in the Bahamas anyway. That's a dumb plot point. But take that out of it. This is a really dumb way to get them there, in my opinion. And shout out to hardworking man Ray here. That's a Person Dunn's reference. Shout out to hardworking man Ray for, hey, man, I can't just up and leave to go to the Bahamas, man. I got work to fucking do. All right? I'm not up living with you. I'm trying to out here make some fucking money. So shout out to Ray for not just giving in no matter what. I appreciate having a backbone there, sir. Blaring White Snake while driving over the speed limit is a white man's tradition that everyone should feel at least once, or any man's tradition for that matter.
Before you go, Dustin, all I can think about is I wish I had a friend to listen to White Snake with, but here I go again on my own.
I love it. I love it.
Brother, it's 2023. All snakes matter.
Well, that's true. I was also about to say, I'm sure Brian knew another White Snake song since he was like 30 when they were popular, but what do I know?
God, all right, Mike, you're muted, motherfucker.
But it also leads to one of the dumbest parts of this whole fucking film, and that's saying a lot. This mannequin in the fucking road. This is the dumbest thing. And not only that, it's a dumb character decision for Ray to stop for this motherfucker. Last time you kind of stopped and got into some car stuff. Oh, yeah, somebody ended up, quote unquote, dead. And you had to live with that. I would have drove right past this motherfucker. I'm not getting involved. I got shit to do. Trying to surprise my woman. Not be up with some loser named Will. I'm trying to get there. I would have left that motherfucker in the road. Sorry about your luck. Not my fault. But, hey, what do I know? After the summer they had, all right, maybe he's scarred. Carla, bad friend, but I love their chemistry on screen. Like, I think Julie and Carla are a good tandem, and I think Brandy does a good job. But in this part, she's an annoying-ass friend, like, doesn't give Ray any credit for being a good dude, tries to hook him up with this Will guy who's clearly, there's something off about Will right from the jump, so I don't really understand that. Long-distance college relationships tend to not work, so a little word to the wise if we have any younger listeners, although I don't really think that we should. Given the content of tonight's show, I don't know if they should be listening, but hey, what do I know? Will can't even get on a plane without hyperventilating. It's not, look, I'm not here to judge, just saying, like, I don't know.
Ride on a plane, be a man.
But I'm going to turn right around and say I would have been Mekhi Phifer on that boat because I get motion sickness like a baby back bitch. Can't go anywhere more than 3 miles without feeling nauseous unless I'm driving. So haven't been to the Bahamas. No offense. Not some big, great destination place. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, here come the money jokes. It's a cruise. It wasn't some upscale cruise. Everyone has a honeymoon. Come on, man.
It's anyway. No Alaska.
My honeymoon was Panama City Beach, Florida, motherfucker, not the Bahamas, so I don't want to hear that shit. Go ahead.
It was a cruise. We got off the boat in the Bahamas for one day. Anyway, last thing. Jack Black's the fucking GOAT. He's awesome. I just love Jack Black so much. Love Tenacious D. Love School Rock. The Holiday. He's awesome in that movie. Tenacious D is the name of a fucking band, Nico. Not everything deserves a pause. God damn it. Fuck.
I don't know. That was crazy. You said you love his Tenacious D.
I love Tenacious. And I never said his.
You said his D was tenacious and you loved it.
Fuck off. Fuck off, Curly W. I'm trying to do a goddamn show here, man. God almighty. Fuck you, asshole. Last thing. This movie's just a total departure from the original. It feels like a really bad episode of your favorite TV show. Like, even if you didn't love the first, it's like, I like the first, I want to see the second, and now this is like, it's the, for Nico, it's the one where Eleven goes and sees her sister. That episode stinks.
Serious.
And it's it's a way off base from what the original content was. Sorry, go ahead, Dustin. Man, fuck you, Dustin.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. All right. This set of scenes just immediately start off annoying me with Julie being scared of the dryer. But I do like the premise of them winning a trip to the Bahamas. Now, I get what you're saying. It's a little too elaborate. I wish that it would have been better if they legitimately won the trip. Because if you're going to go through the trouble of paying for, paying all this money just to get them to the Bahamas to kill them,
Right.
what's the fucking point?
Exactly.
Why are you treating them to a vacation? Yeah,
what the fuck?
That was stupid. But yeah. Anyway, I do like the premise of getting them away and getting them to a destination. That was cool. Then Ray, dog, what are you doing? I don't give a shit what's going on at work. You go with her. But also, I don't like the idea of, hey, let's not call her. Let's just show up. And that's risky. You saw how homeboy was looking at her. Will was trying to clap them cheeks. You need to let her know, hey, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Keep him away. But shout out to John Hawkes. He's one of the more underappreciated supporting actors, I feel like. He didn't last long in this movie, though. It was a badass kill with the hook going through his mouth, like the bottom jaw, and pulling him through. That was awesome. And then speaking of supporting actors, I love Jack Black. He's hilarious in this one. He's hilarious in everything. So that was a nice touch. His dreadlocks looked awful, but they were hilarious. And, to me, it's just this set of scenes is much better than the open because at least we're making progress to what our actual story is, but still not really great, but at least it's getting my interest peaked a little.
The group can't get any customer service at the hotel until Mr. Brooks arrives. He seems hostile and gives them a history lesson on the building. He says they're in the honeymoon suites and their marginally trained staff will be there to serve them. It's storm season. Estes brings in their bags and Tyrell continues to be big horny. Ray is in the hospital asleep as the doctor tells the detective what Ray told him. The detective ain't buying it though. Ray flatlines, but we see he's escaped from the hospital. Tyrell and Will walk into an empty bar and they order drinks. The bartender snaps on Will as she says she shot her last man. Julie asks Carla more relationship advice as they make it to the bar. They share a toast and Carla has Julie do some karaoke. Julie sings I Will Survive and the vibes are immaculate until she sees I Still Know What You Did Last Summer on screen. She freezes, panics, and runs off to her room. Julie is in her room and sees a card with her name on it. She's jump scared by Will and he drops her vase of flowers. He hands her a flower confessing his feelings and dips out. Tyrell continues to be big horny. Derek docks a boat but grows suspicious. Titus scares him and tells him about a big party on the mainland. He shoots down the plans and gets back to work. His foot gets trapped in the rope and pulled into the water. The fisherman hovers him and kills Derek. Ray tries to call the hotel, but no answer. Housekeeping makes her rounds and notices she has blood on her hands. The fisherman emerges from her room and kills her. All right, Brian, this next set of scenes I got, what'd you think?
Yeah. All right, shout out to the one and only Mr. Jeffrey Combs as the desk clerk, Mr. Brooks, the reanimator, Herbert West himself. Isn't it kind of weird that we haven't done that movie yet? I mean, there's another one. That's another one we need to do at some point. But anyway, I think he's great here. Also, shout out Jennifer Esposito as Nancy the bartender. Fun fact, apparently in the script, Nancy's character description read, Nancy looks just like Jennifer Esposito. Well, that worked out well. I did laugh when they both said that they wanted a my motherfucking tie. And then after the very awkward exchange with Nancy, she asked what they want. Like, I thought we just fucking established that. We just went over that. I don't know. Also, Julie, I don't want to hear I miss Ray while you're literally staying in the same room with another dude. There's no loyalty in 1998. It's fucking crazy. But the other thing I wanted to touch on was this karaoke machine. My headcanon, I like to say that Julie hallucinated the words changing because otherwise, come the fuck on. Like, how is that karaoke machine getting hacked and it played out like this? Nah. That's why I said earlier, I wish they'd played up the hallucinating thing a little bit more, and this definitely been part of it. As far as the rest of the set of scenes goes, we get a fake out jump scare. Now we get fake out sex scenes, followed right up by Titus and the doc guy Derek scene where Derek's tied up in the most cartoon ass fucking way, pulled in the water, yells for Titus, killed off screen, and Titus maybe 20 yards away doesn't hear or see shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. And this housekeeper kill just pissed me off. Like, terrible acting. I'm sorry. Seeing him drag her off was a little bit cool, but it was one of those old school stab and, oh, I'm just automatically dead instantly. I don't know. It just irked me. Go ahead, man.
All right, man. This is where the movie takes a big dip to me. This hotel manager is a dick, but kind of humorous, to be honest with you. Everybody I've talked to that's worked at a resort or the beach or whatever says working where people vacation really fucking sucks. So I feel like maybe this is the most realistic character in the movie to me. But again, if someone is giving away tickets to the Bahamas at that time of year, it's a bad sign. Even I know that, just not because I'm experienced traveler or anything. Look, something is up. I love this bartender. She shot him. Sign me up for that toxic ass. Let's go. I'm all in. Anyway, I Will Survive is a terrible fucking karaoke song, and I wish people would stop fucking singing it. You can't sing it. You don't sound good. It fucking sucks. This, to me, is the cafeteria scene. I like the song. You're not.
Hold up.
The song.
Jennifer Love Hewitt didn't sound bad in this. Am I the only one that thought she actually sounded good and she could sing this song? No, I guess.
She's okay. She's better than the barber that's been smoking a pack a day for 70 years that tries to sing it down at the bar. But
you know who can sing that song beautifully? That's Clifford Franklin from The Replacements. You know he loved that damn song.
And that's a better movie, and that's a much better use of that song. However, this and Black Velvet are like the two fucking karaoke anthems for lonely women. Just throwing that out there. You can cut that if you want. Look, I just don't love this scene for a couple. This is the cafeteria scene in Scream 2 to me. It's where the movie goes faceplant. It's the I think I love you scene in this movie. To me, I fucking hate it.
No.
And I don't like the hallucinating the words on the screen, or I guess that's what she did. I fucking hate that too. That makes no sense at all. Again, I don't like it. And I will say they don't do a very good job, and I'll talk more about it later, of like hiding what Will is here for, in my opinion. No red herring, no, this could be somebody else. Like I hate the creative there. It sucks. Fake sex sounds. So she's jumping on the bed like she's 7 years old. That shit was fucking stupid. I'm telling you, this set of scenes is where the movie pretty much just spits in my fucking face and tries to get me to laugh. And I just don't like the direction. And it ends with an off-screen kill. Jack Black makes stupid movie character choices. How does he not hear the kill? I don't understand. Again, and a shitty off-screen kill. Man, this thing smells. This set of scenes fucking stinks.
Yeah, there's no reason for the resort clerk to be so creepy. Like, I get him being a dick is one thing, but like it's like they tried too hard to paint every single character in this movie as a suspect, and that was annoying to me. And his dialogue was awful. More bad writing there.
Hey, remember what Randy said, though? Everybody's a suspect.
This ain't Scream. Anyway, shout out to Bill Cobbs. That's another great actor. This movie does have a really strong cast, if nothing else. And I actually put that in my closing thoughts, is like, the cast really saved it from being even worse. The bartender, just another odd character. Like, it really bothers me how they wrote her. It's like every character is just a suspect to the point to where you almost don't even believe that they're a suspect because they try so hard. It's like, okay, it's clearly not them because they're just over the top. When Julie did karaoke, yeah, I mean, she didn't do terrible, but Titus heard. So here's the thing that really confused me. Titus heard the sound of the fisherman hooking Derek, but didn't hear Derek fall in the water or yell. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. And then how did the housekeeper not notice the damn blood on the sheets before? And she took them off the bed, I'm assuming. But she didn't notice the blood until she was in the hallway and like knocking on the door at a different room. Get out of my face with that. I'm honestly still unsure if this movie is salvageable at this point when I'm watching it. So
Carla and Tyrell are in the hot tub and he is exponentially horny. Titus jump scares them smoking the marijuanas. Back to kissing, and Will gets in the hot tub with them. Julie hears a thud as she gets out the shower. She scopes the place out, finding nothing. Her toothbrush is missing, and we see the fisherman walk behind her. She checks out the closet, and Derek's dead body drops down. Julie runs to the hot tub to tell Will. They all check it out, and Mr. Brooks isn't amused. Tyrell calls Julie out on it. Julie wants off the island, but there are no departing ferries. There's a storm coming. He calls them spoiled city kids, and there's a storm shelter if it gets bad enough. Estes is doing some chants as he lights a toothbrush on fire. Titus gets some more ganja for his bong as the fisherman walks up on him. He drives the hook through his hand into the table. He grabs the hedge clippers and stabs them into his chest. Ray walks into a pawn shop to sell Julie's engagement ring. Ray wants to trade the ring for a gun. Back in the room, all four of them are in bed together. Tyrell is pissed over the weekend and continues to be big horny. Carla and Julie are going to the gym as Will tells Tyrell how the storm could take them out. Julie's treadmill isn't working, so Carla tells her to use the tanning bed. Carla hears noises and sees the dryer rocking. She finds the housekeeper's body in it. Tyrell and Will find Titus's dead body. All right, Brian, go ahead. That's the next set of scenes I got.
I will agree with Nico here. Ty cracks my ass up here in this hot tub. My guy is horny as hell and keeps getting cock blocked like crazy. I was dying. He's like, how's the water? Crowded. Any advice? Yeah, find another jacuzzi. my guy is ready to fucking kill somebody. I also want to say Titus has been kind of annoying to me up to this point. I think we touched on that some, but I think here, Jack Black is funny as hell in this pool scene. This jacuzzi stuff, I think the whole thing was entertaining as hell to me. I like their exchanges, which I mean, that shows right there. It's not the actors, in my opinion. It's the writing in this flick. I really don't have a whole lot on this set of scenes at all. As far as, all the room stuff going on with Julie, I really wish that had been an hallucination as well. Like have her turn around almost immediately and the dock hand been gone and not hanging up in her closet, because otherwise you have all this logistical questions pop up. Like, how was this rigged up? And again, how the fuck was all this cleaned up before everybody got there? It honestly wouldn't take a ton to fix the script, but hey, I didn't write it, because if I did, all this voodoo shit, cut. Stupid as hell. And give me better Jack Black kill, because it was set up very well. Hooked through the hand. Great acting by Black there. Great effects. Tease us with the garden shears. Boom. Bobo stab in the chest. No blood. Come on. Like, I feel like Ty here with all these blue balls this movie's giving me with these lame ass kills. Ty was great when they woke up too. Like, he was a super asshole, but I get it. Dude has had it. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I was going to say, Titus and Tyrell were fucking hilarious here, man. Like, when you remove this scene from the movie that you're watching and just watch it for what it is, it's fucking hilarious. Their exchanges, Tyrell's hilarious. All the jacuzzi stuff, I think, is really, really funny and entertaining. Does it belong in this movie? No, but it works. It's really entertaining. Shower scene alone in a horror movie. You wonder how that's going to end. Of course, it ends with shenanigans, so another trope there. Look, I hate this trope where no one believes the person that went through the bullshit in the first movie in the sequel. Like, it happens all the time. It's still happening today in sequels. I fucking hate that. Like, clearly there's something going on with her. Look, I understand I understand Ty's frustrations, but like, let's dial it back a little bit, man. Dang. Okay. Now there's fucking voodoo. So not only do we have this unrealistic contest, they're in the Bahamas at a bad time of year. This is supposed to be a slasher movie where the last one was very contained, very one, area. Like, and now we have voodoo, shamans and shit. Like, what the fuck is this script, man? I hate it. Cut it. It's dumb. It had no bearing on the end of the movie either. Like, God, I thought that was really, really stupid. Jack Black dying here may be the most unintentionally funny death scene ever. Like, the way he screams and his facial expressions crack me the fuck up, man. It's not the funniest death ever, but I don't think it was supposed to be funny. It was, though. No chance it's that easy to get a gun from a pawn shop, right? Right? It probably is.
98.
Look, yeah, I was going to say, it probably is. No chance I'm sleeping four to the bed like that, though. That is, if I'm Ty, I'm kicking everybody out, including Carla. Get the fuck out of my bed. I'm going to sleep. No chance I'm sleeping four to a bed like that so everyone feels comfortable. Sorry. Find a floor. I don't care. Love that hotel gym, though. That is a legit one. I'm all in on that. And last thing, okay, the maid in the fucking dryer is hilarious. It's like to hear that bitch on tumble dry go around and around and around and open it up and see Carla's reaction was fucking hilarious. So I will give them credit for popping me there. That's all I got.
Titus being a huge cock block and then Will being an even bigger one, that was hilarious to me. Like, you nailed it, Nico, or Brian, you nailed it when you're like, God, could you leave me alone? Find a new hot tub. That was funny. I saw a dead body and now no one believes me crap is annoying. Like, this is a sequel. If Carla is her friend, she should know what she's been through and be supportive. Like, I just hate that aspect of this movie, of all movies, really. It's just so tired. Mr. Brooks being a creepy dick again, is more annoying to me. Jack Black is so damn funny. First of all, him talking to his weed plants like they're babies was funny. And then seriously, don't do that? Like, that's bad dialogue, but it made me laugh because it fit his character. That shit was good. Will cuddling up to Tyrell when they woke up, that was another thing that made me laugh. Like, it was so subtle, but when they wake up, like, Will's all cuddled up to him, that shit was funny. When Julie and Carla got to the gym, though, how the fuck were they so dry? It's a damn monsoon out there. And they had to walk, through the rain to get to that gym. And the only thing is, like, Julie's got a couple water spots on her shirt, and her hair looks like she's, taking a shower, and it's been lightly blow dried. Get the fuck out of my face with that. Now, how the hell did Carla just all of a sudden hear that dryer, though? Like, it looked like there wasn't another entrance to that room. So you have to assume that the dryer was on the whole time, but just all of a sudden, oh, I hear the dryer. It just sounds like it just started. Let me go check that out. No, not buying that either. But at least the action's picking up. Like, we got 2 dead bodies within a 45-second stretch here. So, it's at least a little bit more entertaining.
The fisherman makes it into the tanning bed room and zip ties her shut and turns the heat up. Julie panics and yells for Carla. Carla is trapped in her room until Tyrell breaks the window out. They run to Julie and get her free from the tanning bed by breaking the fucking handle. The 4 take off to call for help. They find Brooks dead and the radio destroyed. I still know written in blood on the wall. They run to the dock and see all the boats missing. Julie tells the group about Ben Willis and they never found Ben's body. Tyrell thinks it's Estes. Carla is pissed Julie never told her the full story. They walk into Estes' room and Tyrell comments on the crazy shit in there. Julie opens some cabinets and they find the missing hair tie, toothbrush, gold chain. They leave the room and have the girls wait in the lobby. Suddenly the power goes out and Estes shows up. Tyrell chokes him and he says he stole those things to help you. Estes says he used to work at the hotel and Estes is going to show them. Ray walks into Paulson's office and demands a boat at gunpoint. Estes tells them Ben had a wife, a boy and a girl. Wife went missing, blood all over the honeymoon suite. The children disappeared and now he's back. Julie sees their graves and her name written on the tombstone. Julie yells out for him and says she's not dying on this island. Will leaves to find Estes and the other 3 go to the hotel. All right, Brian, this next set of scenes, what'd you think? Did you take my picture? Relax, Would you? I just want to take some pictures of you.
Jesus.
Shout out to Jeffrey Dahmer.
Wow. We're shouting out Jeffrey Dahmer now? This show is going off the rails.
Maybe I think we maybe cut the part where we shout out Jeffrey Dahmer for all. Or just sit over here, hey? Just want to watch a movie with you.
All right, so this set of scenes with the tanning bed has a lot of potential. Now, I mean, it's no Final Destination 3 tanning bed scene, but it has some potential. The problem is that it wasn't capitalized on. There's not even tension for me during this entire set of scenes. And did the writer not even know how a tanning bed works? I mean, Dustin brought up a great point I didn't even fucking think about, but that makes it even 50,000 times worse. I was just going to say 30 minutes in that fucking tanning bed, like she would have been fried as hell. And you don't get a damn tan using the thing one time, like they basically imply here. And all right, so explain to me what the fuck the timeline is here, because they showed us the gym is right outside of the tanning bed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did Brandy find the body in the dryer? Stupid as hell, by the way. Nobody would go open the fucking thing up in a hotel, but okay. But did she find the body and then just literally stand there like frozen while Ben chained the door? Because Ben walks right on into the tanning bed room from outside, like way later. If they've already shown Brandy find the body, then went back to Will and Ty finding Titus, and now we are back all this time later, and now he walks into the room with those dirty ass shoes. She screams. Everyone can hear her over the rain. Let's not even mention the overkill with breaking a zip tie with a fucking dumbbell. I mean, Jesus Christ. And then we find Brooks sitting straight up, not even slouched, and I still know, written in perfect bright red, definitely not written with a hand font. I was just dying laughing. Like, not tense as hell, not worried for anyone, just seriously laughing at how ridiculous it is at this point to me. This movie loses me in the set of scenes completely. Mike said he was gone earlier. This is really where I'm out. How did Ray get pain medication prescription when he bailed out of the hospital? Tell me that. Tell me why now we're still on this voodoo guy, Estes. Like, literally anyone believes he's really a killer. Like, it's the worst red herring ever. You just killed off the hotel manager who was the only decent red herring you had. Nobody believes this guy may be the killer. I mean, that's Bill Cobbs, like Dustin mentioned. He's always the best dude ever. Like, cast someone else if you want him to be a red herring. Everyone loves Bill Cobbs. And don't give us a stupid backstory on Ben Willis. He's seen him out in the back orchard. Seriously? Oh, yeah, Ben. I know that dude. Let me show you where he's been chilling out in these woods, man. Fuck out of here with this and those graves. Come on. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm with you here. This tanning bed scene has potential. Like I said, tanning bed scene here would work if the movie hadn't spent the first hour making a fucking joke of everything. Like, yeah, I think it would work. And the way they get her out is fucking ridiculous and stupid. But I think it's well shot. And I think there's a chance that this little bit could have saved the movie, maybe turned it into, all right, we've given you the funny haha. Now let's get back to the actual movie, and we don't fucking get that at all. It actually gets worse. Again, some of the way they're finding people dead, like the aftermath of the kills, are fucking absurd, and I'm willing to suspend my disbelief. As someone who likes when Michael Myers makes a jack-o'-lantern out of people's heads, Jason Voorhees freezes people's face and smashes it into a metal tail. Like, I'm fine. Like, I can suspend my disbelief, but we see those kills. In this, we don't really see them. We just see the aftermath, and I hate that about this franchise. I just not a fan. Ray all of a sudden turning into Jean-Claude Van Damme or something is fucking hilarious. Like, very unrealistic to me. I know he's a hardworking man, but come on now. This just all of a sudden he's this really sawed-off badass. I'm just not buying it. Look, the movie rains on Jennifer Love Hewitt. So she's wet the whole time. No comment, just making an observation about what the filmmaker decided to put on my screen. So I had to look at it, and that's just the way it is. Just wanted to let anyone that wanted to watch this movie know she's pretty much wet the entire second half of the film. We get a recreation of the famous arm stretch scene, which got to play the hits, brother. Got to play the hits. Last thing, Will being so eager to leave would have had my guard up the minute he left. All three of them looked at each other like, you really wanted to leave, huh? That's so interesting, the fact that we're all going to stay here and he's going to leave. That would have had my red flag waving for sure.
Yeah, like I said earlier, zip tying the tanning bed just doesn't fit the fisherman's style, first of all. Like, he should have slashed her if we're supposed to believe he's a badass and he truly just wanted to kill her. But it's a fucking zip tie. Unplug it, turn it off. Dumbasses. That could have bought you more time to find scissors or a knife, but no, using a dumbbell to break it open. Okay. That's cool. Just made the scene overly dramatic for no reason. Her screaming in the tanning bed worked my nerves over pretty good. Shut the hell up with that. Y'all know how I feel about certain kinds of screams. That was one of them. But I agree with what you said, Brian. Continuity issues galore in this set of scenes. Like, when is all this happening? Is this all happening at the same time? Are there multiple bins? Or multiple fishermen? What the fuck's going on here? Brooks being dead just furthers my point about him being creepy and stupid. Like you said, he was the best red herring we had, and now he's gone far before the climax of the movie, and so it's just kind of pointless. Like, it looked cool, I guess, like the cleaver stuck in his head and all the blood everywhere, but it just stupid. And then her asking what today's this one actually made me laugh. They're out there in the cemetery, and she asked what today's date is while looking at the tombstone. The tombstone didn't have a date on it. It just said 1998. She's like, what's today's date? Like, it said July 4th, 1998. It just said 1998. Yes. That was fucking remedial. What are we doing here? That was the dumbest shit. I think that's when I texted y'all, is this supposed to be a comedy, when I was watching it, because that shit was hilarious to me. And then her doing the whole, come on, come and get me, reminded me of Scary Movie when Cindy's doing that shit. So, I give up on having high hopes for this to be a good movie. And at this point, I finally accepted this movie sucks. Let's just enjoy the ride for what we can.
Tyrell gets a knife and roasts the knives Carla grabs. He checks on Julie and says they're going to get him. He says to go to the pantry. He's fucking hungry. Estes grabs a paddle from the boat and knocks Will out, saying we're not going anywhere. They hear a noise in the freezer, but it's just a mouse. Nancy pops out, attacking Tyrell. Ray is sailing to the island as Nancy and Tyrell argue over them possibly being the culprit. Tyrell doesn't want to hear the Ben story again. It's the worst vacation of his life. I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm horny, he says, until a hook is shoved through the back of his neck and he's killed. The three women run upstairs as Ben pursues. They lock him out of the attic, and Carla almost falls through the ceiling. Carla and Ben fall through, and Ben chases after her. Julie runs to go help her. Carla falls through the greenhouse ceiling as the glass shatters. She gets up and realizes she's locked in. Nancy tries to unlock it, and Ben arrives. Julie uses an axe to break out the glass, and Carla gets out. They take off to the storm shelter. They get the lights turned on and see the dead bodies. Will arrives, scaring them, and says we need to get back inside, and Estes attacked him. And the next set of scenes are the ending. Go ahead, Brian.
Not even gonna lie. Behind the scenes, I saw Carla on this set of scenes breakdown, and I was like, "Who the fuck is Carla?" Just name her Brandy. There's not even any other name besides Moesha to give her. That's what it should have been anyway. Moesha. Nobody wanted to let me write this movie. Come on, I definitely wouldn't have had Ty's next line be "I'm hungry." That's for sure. And I've just about had it with his jump scares. Like, is this the most false jump scares in a movie that we've ever done? I don't know. It's got to be up there. A rat in the pantry? Fuck out of here. It's exhausting. Now, Ty's kill, my favorite. Let's forget about the logistics of being strong enough to pick up a 200-plus pound man with one arm straight up like that. And where the hell was he hiding anyway? But we didn't need Ty's humorous little line about being tired and hungry and horny and not seeing any psycho killers. I mean, that, once again, I think is poor writing. He's seen how many dead bodies now, and you're telling me he still thinks Julie's making it up because he, quote, hasn't seen any killers? Stupid as fuck. I know it's written so that you didn't expect that kill, but honestly, I think it's awful writing. Once again, the rest of the set of scenes, I think, is just meh. And I'm trying to get to the end of this point. The third act, I think, has been written so poorly, especially as we get the falling through the glass and then struggling to find the key on a huge keychain trope with the killer walking abnormally slow. And absolutely fuck all to hell this entire dialogue with Will busting into the storm cellar where they all went to be safe and saying, "Let's get out of here," to which they fucking listened to him. And then, "Let's go inside. I saw the slicker guy on the beach. It's okay if we split up. It's safe now." Motherfucker, they just saw the dude. Like, just saw. Why? Again, I blame Lois Duncan in the studio for this. Go ahead, Mike.
I want to say before you go there, Brian, you mentioned what else could you call her other than Moesha? Bullshit. That's Cinderella.
It's true.
That's Cinderella.
All right. Look, okay. I don't have a whole lot on this set of scenes to the delight of some, I'm sure, because I've overtalked here. But thinking about food at a time like this, this group is so fucking unserious, man. God damn. And again, another just bad red herring attempt with Estes. Like, I just don't like it. I don't like the casting choices. That's what they were going to do. I think it's unbelievable. Don't love it. And again, no fucking way Freddie Prinze makes it through the storm on that boat, bro. Like, I'm just not buying that thing doesn't capsize. That thing looks like a poorly built and engineered piece of junk. No fucking way. But, all right, I'm willing to suspend my disbelief because I like Ray. Nancy, the bartender. Call me sometime. That's number 3 in case you were keeping track. Yeah, I love the – hey, this is the first time I think I'm going to disagree with Brian in this movie. I love the kill of Tyrell. Like, I actually think it works. It's a little bit on the nose, yes, but
I said it was my favorite kill. It's my favorite kill.
I thought you said –
I just didn't.
No, it wasn't his nose, bro. It went through his throat.
I said it was on the nose. God damn it!
No, I liked the kill. I just didn't like the shit before.
Okay, so that's still our disagreement because I do like the fact that he's like, "I ain't seen no psycho killer," and then bam, like I'm okay with that. Like that one again, a little on the nose. That doesn't bother me too much. I just feel like this chase scene goes entirely too long. It reminds me of the complaint I had about Valentine, where they had like not one chase scene, but like 2 back-to-back chase scenes. And I'm like, God damn, can we write something entertaining or are we just running around a house? Like, that's kind of how this felt to me. So I will say there were some shots and visuals that look cool with the storm and the lightning in the back. But outside of that, this set of scenes is kind of a big nothing burger to me.
All the knives there and Carla picking up those two little ass knives, like, that was funny. I don't know. I don't know if it was intentionally funny, but it was. Tyrell saying, let's head to the pantry because he's hungry. To me, that's the best writing of the movie, Mike. Like, so many horror movies have their entire story happen without a single character ever eating.
Oh, I didn't hate it. I just said that he was unserious as fuck, man.
Hey, man, that's fuck. I'll be hungry too.
Fair.
Yeah, we haven't seen them eat one single time this entire movie. And all the fucking that boy's doing in his mind, at least, he's worked up appetite. So, a rat in the pantry, that would make me lose my appetite, though. Like, yeah, fuck that. Get me off this island. Killer or not, I don't give a shit. I can handle a damn fisherman. I can't handle a rat. I do think it was a great touch to have Estes swing the oar at will, because, like you said, Brian, it's Bill Cobb's. Like, we don't believe he's the bad guy, but him doing that kind of plants that seed. Like, oh shit, maybe he is. Maybe there's some more to the story going here. I am holding your hand. No, you're not. And they slowly, dramatically turn around. That was so fucking corny to me. I hated that shit. Hated it. And I agree with you. Like, what the fuck? You went down there to stay safe, and he's just going to walk in and be like, oh, let's go. And they leave their hiding place. Nah, I'm done with this at this point. Let's just wrap this shit up.
All right, here's the ending. Carla and Nancy go look for a first aid kit, and Will reveals it's not his blood on his shirt. He asks her favorite radio station and reveals he was the DJ. He grabs her and pulls her outside. Nancy and Carla find Estes with a harpoon through him. He falls on Nancy, and Ben rams it through Estes into Nancy, killing her. Will is pissed, saying it's always about her. She stabs him, but he uppercuts her in the gut. He says, you don't get it, Benson. Ben's son? Ben appears about to kill her until Ray arrives. Ben says Ray doesn't have it in him. He shoots, but dry fire. Will and Ray fight, and Will kicks his ass. Ray elbows Will, and Ben stabs his son with the hook, killing him. Ben goes to kill Ray until Julie shoots him repeatedly. Ben falls into the grave as Julie continues pulling the trigger. Next morning, the storm has passed, and a Coast Guard helicopter arrives. Carla is still alive, and Julie hugs her. Sometime later in time, Julie parks her car and walks into her new home. She walks upstairs and gets into bed as Ray says not to fall asleep. Now he's big horny. She smiles, seeing a teddy bear, until she hears a thud. She gets out of bed and goes into another room as the bathroom door closes and locks. Julie shuts the window as we see dirty footprints on the floor. She looks into a mirror and we see Ben under the bed, who grabs her ankles, dragging her under the bed as the film ends. All right, Brian, that's the ending. What'd you think?
I don't know. I honestly wouldn't even mind this as much if you just had Will be the killer. I mean, the rest of this I think is stupid, but bringing back Ben, even though I love Muse Watson, listen to his interview, don'tgooutthere.com, I wouldn't have brought him back. But Will, Ben's son, come on, really? Like, this is the stupidest fucking shit I've ever heard. Like, this is seriously, I mean, it's a cartoon. It's cartoonish. Then we have Ray's gun not shoot. That's fucking revolver. Those things never just not shoot if it's loaded, which we determined earlier it absolutely was, remember? And that's a revolver. And she shot that gun 8 times, if you don't count as dry fire, and sure didn't look like a 9-shot revolver to me, but hey, maybe I missed that. And where did Carla come from? I had even forgotten the last time I even saw her. So Nancy was killed by Ben, and Carla was just laying there from what I remember. Then bam, I guess he just let her live, and Carla was like, fuck it, I'm laying here to the end of the movie. Then we get another ending like we did the first time with the Exorcist music playing. Bro, just get me out of this movie. You go, Mike.
Yeah, fuck this ending, man. Like, golly, they didn't even try to hide that Will was a psychopath the whole movie, and I think that's what bugged me. Like, I've already kind of mentioned this, I won't beat a dead horse, but there was no good red herring for Will. Like, you knew Will was going to heel turn this whole time. I'm not really sure that Will was ever a babyface to begin with, brother. I hated the way they set that up. And it just felt like lazy writing. I haven't been as hard on the writing as Brian has been, but I agree. Like, I just think that's such shit lazy writing to me. But finally we get some goddamn gore. I appreciate that. Hate it for Estes, but at least we got to fucking see a kill on screen. That was nice. Will, fucking ruthless, beating the hell out of a woman. That's tough. Calls her out on her bullshit too. That's a little tough, man. Will has no fucks to give. Also, Ray shows up, shoots a gun, didn't check to see if it was fully loaded. You know, it's loaded, but it's not fully loaded. Like, all right, man. Will throws a decent clothesline, though. He needs to get into the wrestling business, man. You know, if Freddie Prinze hates him so much, maybe he could, they could work themselves into a shoot on that one. And again, another.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I hate even saying this because I feel like it's going to give Nico way more credit than I think he deserves. But this movie has another family tie in a sequel and from a 90s slasher to come in, and that's the reason behind him being the killer, quote, or the helper of the killer, quote unquote. And I just think it's lazy. We've seen it before. We've seen it all the time, and I hate it. Honestly, I don't even blame Scream. I blame John Carpenter for writing Halloween 2, for making them brother and sister, because I felt like ever since then they've been taking – it's true, though. I'm not going to blame Scream. I'm blaming John Carpenter for Halloween 2, because without that, we don't get the brother-sister thing. Now everybody is a family member of the killer. I fucking hate it. I would have pulled his body out of there after shooting him to death to make sure the authorities had it. Like, that would have been something a smart person would have done. But this isn't a group of smart people, so I guess not. This man scrubs his teeth, even though the toothbrush is battery powered. Like, it kind of does the work for you. I don't know if you need to sit there and fucking scrub to death, but all right, psycho. This last little bit feels entirely unfucking necessary, man. All of it. Like, and again, Muse Watson, great guy, really good interview, but got nothing to do with what the writing is here, man. What is the point of bringing this man back again at the very end? Like, I felt like we could have just ended it after they walked off into the sunset. We didn't even need this little scene of them at the house. The ending fucking sucked, man.
Yeah. Will saying it's not my blood is a good enough oh shit moment, like him revealing himself to be a villain. That was solidly done. I'll give him credit for that. Solid kill on Nancy. Estes falling on her, and then the fisherman just stabbing through to the floor. That was cool. Ray showing up and knowing exactly where to go, though, a little too convenient for me. But, yeah, Will delivered a hell of a clothesline. Hell yeah. John Bradshaw Layfield is impressed. The way Ray escaped and the fisherman killed Will was corny to me. Like, I didn't really like the way that was done. It was kind of like, he had time to duck or stop his thrust of the knife. I don't know, or a hook, whatever. Didn't like it. 8 shots coming out of that 6-shot revolver. Glad you mentioned that, because what the fuck was that? It's okay. I don't hate the fisherman being in the bedroom thing, because I took that as that's just another like dream or something, because the motherfucker's clearly dead, right? That's the way I took it. Sets up possibility for a third film, though, which we get, and is not at all in line with these first two films, which is crazy because the second one's not in line with the first film, but just what a train wreck of a trilogy. Basically, I'm fucking thrilled and ecstatic that this movie is over. You want to know how happy I was this movie's over? I put on Dr. Sleep just to have an improvement.
God damn it. I'm cutting that. Just no taste in movies in this show.
Holy shit, I'm cutting it. That was fucking funny. All right. Let's open our social media comments and questions now, because I'm not asking if y'all got any more. Our Facebook, Eric Doolittle. I enjoy this movie for what it is. It's a fun, dumb slasher. I do think Jennifer Love Hewitt should have done more horror movies after these two movies. Also, where's Ben Willis getting all his money to send 4 people to the Bahamas?
Right.
Michael Settle.
Right.
Anywho, let's move over to Twitter now. Kevin Scanlon. Let's move over to Twitter now. Kevin Scanlon, teammate of the show, said, "This is a guilty pleasure of mine. There's something about a horror film that takes place on an island in the middle of a hurricane that just does it for me." I don't know if that's he's being funny or not, because I can't think of another fucking movie that's on an island.
I mean, yeah, that is.
Very specific.
Like, a hurricane would be
very
crawl, but
specific.
on an island with a hurricane, I don't fucking know, man.
In 1998, too. I have a lot of nitpicks with this film as a whole, but it doesn't stop me from enjoying it regardless. Hell yeah, brother. I'm just glad you've seen this one because we know you don't watch our picks anymore.
That's true.
Randy Smith said, I don't really get the hate for this movie. Is it amazing? No, but it's not a bad movie. But the third is by far the worst in the series. 5 out of 10. P.S. Go Dogs and Braves. Hell yeah,
Brother, this
brother.
movie sucks. I'm sorry to tell you.
Plus, it has Jennifer Love
It does
Pfefferman.
have Jennifer Love
Okay.
Pepperman. That's all right. Shout out to Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Drunk and Impossibly Tan commented, what is the capital of Brazil?
I would have got that question
Beef.
wrong. We were not going to the fucking Bahamas. Oh,
You just paid.
That's
fuck
also-
you, Nico.
Also,
Mike's already been.
I didn't hate it. It just wasn't.
we didn't even point out how preposterous it is that they asked the capital of Brazil only to send them to the Bahamas.
I got nothing.
point.
It's like,
What's the capital of Brazil?
yeah.
Sweet, you're going to the Bahamas now. Let's jump over to Instagram now. Real Matt Sears commented, I liked it better than the first. I haven't seen it in a long time now, so I'm not sure if it still holds up. I'm guessing
doesn't.
What's
no.
wrong with these
But
people?
man,
What is wrong with you?
But man, I loved it back in the day and watched it a ton back then. Shout out to Bill Cobbs' Estes. Anytime a sage old black man gives you advice, you should take it. Pretty decent cast in this, even in the minor roles. Hey, I agree, man. Really good cast.
Yeah, Cass is
Cass
great.
is good.
Eric Paul, 1986, commented, this is one of the franchises where I like the sequel
What is
better.
wrong with you people?
My guy.
Woof.
And Missy Hutchinson Wall commented, this was a great bad
Okay,
movie.
I can line up with
There you
that.
go.
Okay,
I'll
if you
accept
really,
that.
yeah, sure.
Holy shit, what an episode. All right, fun facts. Dustin, Brian, if y'all got any, go ahead.
Due to the negative critical reaction to the film upon its release, Freddie Prinze Jr. admits that he has never seen the film because of its reputation. I wish I could say the same. The film would be the last time Jennifer Love Hewitt appeared in a horror film. She didn't want to be typecast as a scream queen. I think that's a mistake. Just like the first film, Roger Ebert included this on his most hated list. Amen. And the last one, a sequel, I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, was announced in 2000. It was originally meant to star survivors Jennifer Love Hewitt, Brandy Norwood, and Freddie Prinze Jr. again. However, the film was left alone for a while, and the original script, which involved Jennifer, Brandy, and Freddie, was scrapped, and a whole new script was written. Despite the script being rewritten, Hewitt was rumored to have a cameo appearance in the new sequel, but never made it. And I don't blame her. She probably read what they were about to do to this shit and was like, no, fuck that, I'm good.
No doubt. This is a fun little story. Brandy Norwood was terrified of Muse Watson. When he arrived on set of the first day of filming, Jennifer Love Hewitt ran up to him and said, Brandy is like falling apart, shaking because she knows she's going to have to meet you. And he said, where is she, love? Hewitt said, she's over in the cafeteria. So Watson walked over to the cafeteria, accompanied by Hewitt, and Brandy was sitting at the table with 8 other girls in a booth. So there's no way she could get out. And as Watson walked in the door, she immediately saw who he was, got to screaming and trying to get across other people. He was able to calm her down and assure her there was nothing to be afraid of. That is super dramatic. That's super dramatic, by the way.
That's crazy that she was afraid of him, because if I was him, I'd be afraid of her behind the wheel.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. We're getting to cancel Brandy coming on the show next week. She was going to come on the show, but never mind.
Brandy.
Oh, my bad.
And the last thing, a chunk of the budget of this movie was actually went toward fixing the abandoned El Tecuan Marina Resort Castelagre in Jalisco, Mexico, because it was damaged during an earthquake and they had to fix it.
So they couldn't just send them to Mexico. It had to be the Bahamas. That's fucking stupid. Anyway, the budget for this movie, which you mentioned a lot of it went to, it was $24 million. There was rumors out there that they spent upwards of $65 million, but couldn't actually confirm it. So I'm going with the 24 number. That sounds more realistic to me. The gross in the U.S. was $40 million. Internationally, everyone else included, $85 million was the worldwide gross, which is probably why we got the shitty third sequel that we got, one of the worst pieces of garbage I've ever seen. So,
I can't wait to watch that one. I know that one's
oh
going to
hell,
be
you
terrible.
might end up liking it. Fucking
All right, let's-
ridiculous.
Let's jump into our favorite kill, least favorite kill in the rating. I'll kick us off. Favorite kill. I was torn between 2, but I went with Tyrell. He's my favorite character, and it was a funny scene when he was killed. My other favorite kill would have been, what was his name? Dave, Ray's friend. That was a really good kill as well. Least favorite kill, I chose Derek just because it was off screen. I just wrote a little paragraph. Might be a hot take, but I enjoy this more than the original. It doesn't take itself as serious. This is just my opinion. I know the writing's shitty and all that, but it doesn't take itself as seriously, and it's more fun, funnier, and enjoyable. Jennifer Love Hewitt, to me, is more charming and portraying a campier version of Julie James than the other cast is fun too. I mean, you get Jeffrey Combs, a horror legend, Jack Black, who's always charming, and my favorite of the movie, Mekhi Phifer, who is absolutely hilarious and horny in this movie. The movie isn't good per se, but it's a fun watch. I do think Freddie Prinze, damn iPhone changed that to Prince, could have been left out completely. He stinks in both movies. He's probably going to cancel coming on our show now. Oh. Anywho, I gave the original 5 1/4, and I'm going to give this one a 5.75. He gives opinions
for a living. He'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, we all put shitty opinions out there. This is mine.
My favorite kill, Ty, hook through the neck. Loved it. Sidebar, the tagline for this movie was "Get Hooked Again." Shout out to marketing. That's pretty damn good. I'll give a shout out for that. Least favorite kill, either the docket. No, it's the fucking housekeeper. That shit just pisses me off. Fuck that kill. So look, poorly done sequel, in my opinion. The definition of a cash grab, taking advantage of actors that contractually were obligated to return for a sequel. I think there were too many false jump scares. I think there was bad writing. I usually talk about the cinematography some and shout out to the director or the cinematographer if there's some good stuff. But honestly, nothing really stood out to me in this movie. I mean, I guess it's good. Nothing stood out badly, but nothing really stood out good either. I don't know. It just kind of seemed shot dull, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I've heard this be called a good gateway to horror movie. I actually would probably agree with that. That's not a bad call. The first one's pretty beloved by me. I remember I was the highest by far with my rating on that one. I gave it an 8. This is not even close to the first one to me. I'm going to give it a 4.
All right. I'll go ahead and go. So favorite kill to me is a tie between Dave and Tyrell. Like a hook through the bottom of the jaw and then a hook through the back of the throat. That was awesome. Those 2 good kills. If I had to pick one, I'd say Dave. Just because it was kind of unexpected and they hooked him through the window. That was cool. Least favorite kill is Derek, I guess. Like it was off screen. We just saw a little bit of blood splatter, and it's just completely implausible to me that Jack Black's character didn't hear none of that shit go down. Rating, it's not the worst movie reviewed. Like I said, it's certainly not the worst film in the trilogy, but it's just not good. Crappy script. Story is only saved by a solid cast. Also, side note, the title is incorrect. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. It would be I Still Know What You Did Summer Before Last, if we're talking grammatically correct.
There we go.
I give this movie a 4.5.
All right, my favorite kill is Ty, hook through the neck like everybody. Like, great kill, great visual, really enjoyed it. My least are all the off-screen kills, but in particular, the dockhand guy there. I thought that was really stupid. Just not a very intelligent kill to me. Look, can I have fun with this movie? Yes, I had a blast talking about it with you guys, so it can't be too fucking bad, but it actually is that fucking bad. So I'm having way more fun talking about it with you guys than I did while watching the movie. There's a point where I started to get angry, and it's not – I understand this idea that it's so bad it's good, but because the first one does take itself a little seriously, I kind of expected that same tone. So maybe it's just like a tonal – shift thing that I didn't really enjoy that much. I understand the so bad it's good. It just wasn't, it didn't hit like that for me. Really dumb horror movie character choices. The casting's fine, but the dialogue and writing is really, really bad. I think some of the shots are bad. It just look, for as much money as they spent, it sure didn't look like it at times. And I just wish there was more gore, more taking itself a little more seriously. It doesn't have to be the most serious. It doesn't need to be an A24 masterpiece or anything. Just needed to take itself a little more seriously. You know what I meant. Anyway, all that being said, I gave this movie the same score as Dustin, which was a 4.5.
All right. That gives us a composite score of 4.6875, which is exactly in line with IMDb. They have it as a 4.7.
Whoa.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, sounds like smart people over there at IMDb. That's what I'm talking about.
Heck yeah. All right. Let's shout out our blood donors, and then we're going to be doubling up next week just to make up for the week we missed way back when. I don't even remember why. It's probably me being in the fucking hospital or sick or something. Who knows? Dustin, have your pick ready. Blood donors, we really appreciate y'all. We got a new final girl donor, Christina Tower. Our camper level reoccurring are Clayton J, Nina, Michelle Mirza, Andrew Ferguson, the Horror Movie Crew podcast, Alex Seligson, Eric Doolittle, Sean Irwin, Brian Samick, Trisha and Kelsey Miller. Camp counselor reoccurring are Dennis Kennedy, Edwin Hernandez-Gunn, Joe Swinford, Jennifer Davis from the Too Close to Home podcast, Kylie Denise, all the way from Australia, Adrian Aiello, Karen, and Matt Strickland. Really appreciate all of our blood donors. Can't stress enough how much of a burden you take off of us. Like I mentioned, we're doubling up next week because we got a really big October planned. My pick is The Strangers Pray at Night, the sequel that came out 10 years after the original. And I think that'll be another fun episode to talk about. Whether we like it or not, I think it'll be a good episode. Dustin, what's your pick for next week as well?
Yeah, my pick next week is The First Purge, and I don't mean the first movie in that franchise that came out that had the GOAT Ethan Hawke in it. I mean the movie that's titled The First Purge. I really enjoyed it, man.
Has Ethan Hawke survived a horror movie? He died in The Purge, died in
so.
Sinister, and Black Phone. Spoiler.
It's been almost a
Does
year.
he survive anything?
It's fine. I don't know. I have to think about that one.
It's a good point.
You figured the GOAT would survive something. Anywho, let's
go
Brad
ahead.
Pitt survived 7. Anyway, all right.
Oh, and World War Z. Anywho, appreciate all our fans. We hope y'all enjoyed this episode. It was a damn good time making it. Brian's probably hating his life having to edit it, but hey, we had a good time. Appreciate y'all listening, and we'll be back next week.
Just want to remind everybody,